I think that your latest album, you know, one thing you're very good at is I've seen you talking about this album, and you talk about the influences, and you've got there's no it's all me. I did this. You know, you talk about like Springsteen, Fleetwood Mac. You've also done a song with Brandon Flowers, the Lumineers. There's other few guest artists as well, and you're very
generous.
Nice. Yes.
No, but generous in this kind of exactly how you were saying. It's like you stand as yourself with your voice and your melodies, but this kind of idea that the creative process, you always inherit something, and then the rest of it comes through this unique filter, which is James Bay, but constantly kind of reminding us as an audience, hey, this guy, this lady, these people came before me, and you run forward with that torch. And I don't know if it's just me, but it feels fresh. It's somehow forgotten, and you're so upfront with it. And
beautiful. It's great, man.
No, I appreciate that a lot. It's important. I mean, look, I like a lot of the artists that I've referenced. They're not necessarily artists that are having their first moment in 2024 or 2015 or whatever. So you know, they're older artists often, because that's just my sort of taste a lot of the time. I like lots of artists from the present moment. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
I think, especially with sort of regards to my first album, my first release, and my first. Everyone else's first experience of me on that broader scale, I wanted to say this is kind of what I'm coming from sonically, what feeds into maybe what you like about my music that you're hearing right now. Also, though, and Gabe Simon, who I produced this new album with, he was really good at reminding me to celebrate my musical community. And what I mean by that is, and that might be that there's references in my sound to sort of Fleetwood Mac and Bruce Springsteen, and there's supposed to be, so I'm glad of that. But like, I've got the Lumineers on this record, singing on a song. I've got Noah Khan, who's a lad I love, and I've known him since about 2018, because he was signed to the same label that I'm on. He used to open shows for me. He's been on tour and opened up for me, and then this summer I went and opened up for him. And like, we all ultimately, I think it's nice to appreciate that we share fans, and therefore there's a little community in amongst our music, and so I guess I always want to sort of talk about that, to celebrate that, and kind of, I know it's sort of my name on the top of the album cover, but like, that's just one sort of part and one moment of my whole career and sort of ability to exist as a professional touring and recording artist.
Awesome.
I'm not just here because of me in that respect, you know. I'm here because these fans who like these other artists like me as well.
Definitely.
And by the way, like, Brandon Flowers like made a bit of noise, in small noise, but very important to me, in about 2015 when he heard "Hold Back the River," my song, and said like, this is a song that I think is really great. And he told me that again when we wrote together. He said that was a real like song. That was a song of the year for us.
Yeah.
Wow.
If he's making that kind of noise to any of his fans, then that's the community sort of being shared.
Yeah, absolutely. What's the writing process with like Flowers? I'm calling them Flowers. I shouldn't be calling them Flowers. But what's the writing process? Do you work together? Like, are you in your own place sending him ideas, or you're sitting in a Starbucks together, or?
The writing process with Mr. Flowers, we have a mutual friend who had worked at the label I was signed to, but had previously worked a lot with Brandon and the Killers as a band, and he was very in touch with Brandon as ever, and said to me, Brandon, you know, is always curious lately about why he can't find a way to sort of get in and amongst working with newer, younger artists than him. And I sort of put my hand up and said, excuse me, sign me up, please.
Nice.
You know, I guess if you're big like Brandon Flowers or the Killers are, you try not to do anything by half. And that's no disrespect to the sort of process of just sending things, you know, via the internet. As you can tell, my internet's falling. So I don't really have that option. But like, I went to America it was really fun. Him and Ronnie Vanucci, who's the drummer in the Killers, were sort of the real OG sort of members. They had set up a sort of ski lodge in Utah that they turned into a studio. Ultimately, they brought, you know, recording desks in and speakers and instruments, and they had a double height hallway that was they put the drum kit in that very sort of Led Zeppelin way, so they get this massive drum sound. And there was no great agenda actually, other than to write with each other and see how it went. And I took an idea, I took a melody, and very proud to say that melody went on to be in the song that we wrote, Easy Distraction. And it was very legit. There was no sort of messing about, really. Not to say that there isn't, but, you know, creativity is I don't know, Al, if you've been like in a writing space, Russell's talked a bit about writing rooms for comedy, you know, you sort of, you're all trying to get the balled up paper into the bin while you're having a bit of a sort of whatever chat, and then sort of funny things or whatever may come up out of that. And that can be the atmosphere. But Brandon, he's so sort of lean in his like ability and approach. He seemed quite profound and prolific. Because he'd dive into his phone to sort of look at words and sentences and ideas and thoughts and emotions that he'd scribbled down. And we'd get some chords going round, and then he'd get on a microphone and sort of spit them out, and they would sound like beautiful sort of finished ideas.
Awesome. Wow.
So I learned a lot in that respect as well about just going for it, which is the hardest thing in the world, especially when you're sales at your hero.
You haven't got kids, no?
I have one small 3-year-old daughter.
Okay, because the album's called Changes All the Time, and then the tour's called Up All Night. And I thought it was there was some connection to diapers or something. Like you're up all night changing the child. I don't know if that's a subliminal.
No, it's funny how everything ends up relating back to the experience of becoming a parent, one way or another.
Absolutely. You know? We're really excited that you're going to come to Sweden. Do you have any like special rider when you go to different places? You know.
Good question. Not. Well, you know what? Actually, there's various sort of corners like Sweden, and I remember this being a similar thing in Norway. Like the sort of spa option in Norway is quite incredible. There's the massage opportunities in Sweden are unbelievable. So like, I'm not saying they're like right there on my rider, but like they kind of are in my head at least. Like
you should put them down on paper.
That's really nice. But isn't a rider just to make sure?
To make sure that
that they look at it,
that the booker has looked at all the stuff, right?
Yeah, we've had that before. We've done that. I've had a tour manager in the past do that kind of thing.
Yep.
And sort of say, congratulations, you made it to the bottom of the rider.
Exactly.
You know?
That's it.
Thank you so much for reading this. We really appreciate that, and blah blah blah. It's just always a nice touch. But like, God, riders are a funny thing. They sort of, as much as anything, they can just make you feel a bit at home because it's some of the same stuff, broadly speaking, every time that you turn up in a different dressing room, sort of thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, I have ginger and lemon, and it's like I'm asking for, you know, hobbits and stuff. People are like, why the hell are you asking for this? You know, it's just. And, you know, I get called Mariah Carey for some reason, but it's just a throat thing, you know. I've got my little...
you use your voice.
Yeah, I've got my little pipe, you know, the little woo, you know.
I know it. No, I know that stuff out. I like, you know, like it's the projecting that you do, I'd imagine, as someone who speaks on stage. I know, like, you know...
Yeah.
Because you and I can both come off stage and, like, speak gently and it feel a lot more sort of comfortable. And you've been talking and I've been sort of singing. And you just need, like, that stuff, that honey and lemon, all that stuff, or else you just got, I mean, just water is sort of fine, but it's also like you need to go further than just give your voice what it needs. You need to be a bit nice to it.
Yeah, for sure.
We've been actually listening to your album the whole morning, and I've been just like, I mean, I know you have the voice, but I'm like, this guy. So we're thinking of another great singer from an older tradition. We've been thinking about Frank Sinatra, and Simon, you got a hold of his old school
dressing room rider. Yeah. But I have it on. Did you have it on your phone as well?
It was basically it was he asked for Absolute vodka. That was the connection, wasn't it? Let's you know, which is a Swedish 6 boxes of Kleenex. This is the one that confused us. All soda, all rooms, 75% diet.
All soda, all
rooms.
Oh, 75% diet. So he wants Coke in like Coca-Cola.
Yes.
Is that the thing?
That might be it. Yes.
Because I got completely confused. I thought he would like mix Diet Coke with regular Coke to 75%.
That kind of thing happens. I mean, it sounds to me like, he wants like 4 cans of Coca-Cola in every room, but 3 of each of them to be.
Yeah,
there's a bit of maths
that's
for
it.
That was my theory
a colour
as well.
TV as well. I mean, he's asking too much in these days, isn't he?
When I'm trying to remember when I love that request because like when did he die? Did he die in the
like 98 or something, 99 or something?
So for a while, the colour TV had been a sort of real thing for a good 15 years.
Yeah.
But like, it was still a bit of a sort of posh. Yeah, it's Frank Sinatra. He can have
He
what he
can
wants.
have it, yeah, and he asked for a phone,
Yeah, with a dedicated line.
dedicated line, probably to Marilyn. Let's be honest, you know.
That sounds some sort of a secret love story type of a
Yeah.
thing.